Joining us now, New York Times best-selling author of Understanding Trump, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. He also has a new online course called Defending America. I know it's long, I know it's drawn out, but everything I said is true. You're laughing.
Well, no, I'm just saying, look, the reason it has to be long is we have never, ever in American history had as many different scandalous behaviors by a president and his team as we are now learning from Barack Obama and his team. This is an amazing, excuse me, when I look at what Samantha Power was doing, by itself, that's unbelievable. Why does the UN ambassador have to unmask anybody? And my number one goal in this conversation is to get across that the House and the Senate have to open up serious, in-depth investigations. They need to bring Powers in under oath and go through every single unmasking. Why did you ask for this? What did you do with the information? What was the purpose of doing it? Who else knew about it? And then they got to do the same thing with Rice. And they got to do the same thing with the Attorney General Lynch. And they got to go right down the list. And ultimately, I think they're going to have to ask President Obama, did all of this occur and you didn't know it? Do you truly want us to believe that the IRS, the FBI, the Justice Department, the NSA, the State Department, the CIA, all of these were being used for illegal purposes, and you as president didn't notice it? I think it's astonishing. I think you were exactly right to take this length of time to introduce it, because it's amazing how the elite media is avoiding bringing the dots together and painting the picture, and they should be terrified. I mean, every reporter in the country should be frightened of the idea of the executive branch of this government, as powerful as it is, suddenly becoming lawless and deciding it's going to target individuals and go after people.
Mr. Speaker, it's 24/7. Everybody wants Paul Manafort indicted. It's like they want Paul, but they really want the president. For them, Paul Manafort is just collateral damage. Here's the issue that really bothers me. You're right about the Republicans. You're right, these investigations. They're not happening, though. The Deputy Attorney General didn't appoint a special counsel here. I don't know what the Attorney General is doing, Jeff Sessions, but there is, to me, a sense of, okay, if we're going to go after Paul Manafort and you're going to go after a 30-year career military person like General Flynn, maybe you need to go after everybody else, because the evidence against Hillary alone, the questions about unmasking and surveillance leaks alone render a threat to the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, and I don't see it.
No, look, I'm with you. I don't know. I mean, Attorney General Sessions did not recuse himself from any of the things we're now discussing. He could instruct the FBI to open up a case, but at the same time, I would say to the House and Senate, and in both parties, by the way, I mean, when you start seeing the power of the FBI or the power of the CIA being suborned for political reasons, you know, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you ought to be frightened about the future of freedom in America, because we build very powerful institutions to defend us from foreign enemies and to defend us from criminals. And if those institutions start being corrupted, we are in deep trouble as a country.
I've lost faith in all these institutions. Add the media to the list. Have you?
Yes. The truth is, we're one of the great crises in American history, and I think it's got to start. The one place you could imagine right this minute aggressively digging into this is the Congress. I cannot understand why the Republicans in the House and Senate are not being dramatically more aggressive. I mean, they're being handed story after story after story that prove that there was something really sick in the Obama administration. And just General Clapper, who I've known for years and I've respected for years, just his behavior over the last year is absolutely beyond me, and he ought to be brought back in, and they ought to go through step by step. And I noticed that he worded things very carefully. If you go back to the part you played.
Yes, he did.
Nobody in his particular institution, but I think that was, in effect, functionally not being honest.
This sounded very Clintonian. Mr. Speaker, we got a lot more to get to.